I'm gonna tell you straight up, stop caring how it looks. Stop caring how you look to other people. Stop caring how your journey looks, period. Life is gonna take you through some times where you look crazy. You're gonna know you look crazy. But I pray that you and I stop caring how we look to society. My prayer is to have my vision be God's vision. So if God's okay with how it's looking right now, then I pray that I'm okay with how it's looking right now. What's that meme in that boy that's like, it's giving very much, especially if you like following your dreams, you following your vision, you following your intuition, you gonna look crazy. People gonna be like, where you get that from? Why you doing that? They're not gonna get it because they didn't get the message that you got from the man. They're not gonna feel you, especially if you be in your own new path, or if you're the first person in your friend group or your family group. They not gonna feel you, and then you're gonna be mad that they don't support you. How they gonna support something they don't understand? They're not gonna ever know God's plan for you directly until it's evident. This is why we don't make decisions based off of how something looks. Like, following your purposes in life isn't like looking at fruit. You can't judge people by the scars that they have. Definitely don't start and stop something because of how it looks. Now, I know this is a hard concept to get your mind wrapped around. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around it sometimes, because sometimes it's so out of the box for what I thought I was or who I think I am, or my identity. If you're gonna grow, it's gonna look different. Like, we decided who we were just randomly, and we trying to stick to that script for our whole life. It's a survival thing. Your brain actually wants to keep consistency in how you see yourself. So anything that changes or evolves your identity, your brain is like, not that. You gotta override it by knowing this information and taking those steps, irregardless to how uncomfortable or ugly they are. Just imagine somebody passing a farmer riding down the street, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe a gardener or something like that. What the person in the car passing by might see is you staring at the dirt, you smiling at the dirt, but you know the seeds that's been planted. And that's how seeds work. Like, you can't see them for a long time, yet you planted them. And if you don't plant them, you're not gonna see nothing grow. There's this in-between period that's so uncomfortable that we really don't wanna deal with as much. We gotta get comfortable in the growth period, in the incubation. Also, think about how trees literally shrivel up and die when the seasons change. That looks crazy. The first time that happened and humans saw it, they was like, this tree is done. Like, you can't tell me in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve wasn't like, yo, what? They didn't know that next season is gonna come right back. We gotta have faith like that to know that anything that dies or look like it's dying, it's gonna come right back. What's that song? I'm gonna get it right back. Just think about that seed though. That looks like nothing for a long time when it's planted underground. Of course, one day we know it's gonna grow into something beautiful, Lord willing. But for a long time, it looks like absolutely nothing is happening. It looks crazy. And the gardener that sits out there and waters it every day looks crazy too. There's a delay in time that we're bound to as a human. Let's test this theory. I bet you things you did 3 to 6 months ago are just now having an impact on your life. Either you gaining, losing, or maintaining weight based on 3 to 6 months ago. I bet you if you started piano lessons or vocal lessons 3 to 6 months ago, you sound better and you're more confident by now. That's because the nature of progress is gradual. It doesn't all just happen at one time. And then that's a good thing. So hold on. Hold on. I'm coming. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. No, for real. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on tight. Hold on. Wakanda forever. No, for real. Hold on. Be okay. Be okay with being misunderstood, misrepresented, set apart. Be okay with being different. Be okay with your journey looking different. Be okay with how it looks, because how it looks is not always how it is. And that don't mean that's how it's gonna be either. How I start ain't necessarily how I finish. Know that. Know that. One thing about me, I'm a progress. But on the other hand, I'm gonna improve. I know this journey of waiting can bring a lot of anxiety. It can bring fear. It can bring just impatience. A really great piece of advice I heard a while ago about this was, during the wait, don't think less about yourself. Just think about yourself less. That makes sense? I know it's a little confusing. I'll go ahead and break it down. That's because a lot of time when you have anxiety, it's because you're observing yourself in an unnatural way. It's like you're seeing yourself from other people's point of view. Whenever you find yourself observing yourself from an outside perspective, just switch your focus and start thinking about what you're doing instead of how you look doing it. So like if you're in the grocery store and you like walk in the door and everybody's looking at you, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me, just think, all right, I'm about to push this basket. Don't think about yourself in that moment because it's gonna stress you out. You're gonna start wondering how you look. Do I look cool? Do I look okay? Is my hair all right? Does my breath stink? Whatever. You're just gonna start thinking about yourself way too much. You're gonna get in your head and that's gonna give you anxiety. Some people would even say you should ground yourself by touching something with texture or simply naming the colors of things in your proximity, like blue wall, green shirt, brown skin, popping, you know. The point is to stop focusing so much on you and start focusing out into the world. Really, anxiety is coming from you being way too internal in the moment. Now, as long as you're not in a dangerous situation, maybe, you know, if you just walking in the grocery store and there's no life-threatening situation and you freaking out, you need to get out your head. Get rooted in the moment and stop worrying about how you look from outsiders' perspective. Don't think about how you look. Just be honest, be real, and be on assignment. There are so many examples in life, and especially in the Bible, where things have looked really crazy from the surface, but then they worked out in the end. I'm sure if you think about it, it's a lot of times in your life where you didn't know where God was going with that. And you was like, hold on, what is going on? But then when you finally got to your destination, you was like, okay, Lord, I see you. It's so many times things have made sense to my life years later. I'm like, hold on, that's why I had to go through that. Everything starts connecting. So don't worry about how you look right now in the moment. Imagine how foolish Moses looked to the outsiders. First of all, you was coming back to Egypt after you've been AWOL for a while. And you talking about let my people go? Did Pharaoh even know you was a Hebrew? He even knew he was gonna look crazy, and that's why he begged God to choose somebody else. Have you ever done that? You ever like be begging God like, not me, God, not right now, but he knows best, you better bow to that authority. He knows best. I'm telling you, he knows best. He ain't calling you for no reason, and he doesn't call you unless he equips you. So that's comforting. Don't give up on the privilege of being used by God because you're worried about other people's opinions. It is a privilege. He don't need you. He can ask anybody, but he asked you, so do it. How about we all take a cue on faith from Abraham in Genesis? And I'm not saying God's gonna say sacrifice your son. I'm not advocating for the sacrifice of sons, but whatever God is calling you to sacrifice, do it. Hard as it may be, if God is calling us to sacrifice it, do it. You never know, God may be testing your obedience. Even if this sacrifice doesn't come with a ram in a bush and you actually have to go through with the sacrifice, it'll be okay because we trying to please God anyway. It's not about your image. It's not about your reputation. It's not about the opinion of others. It's not about your family. It's not about your friends. It's not about the people who believe in you. It's not about the people who pray for you. We love them. We love them, but we can't live for them, honey. I'm just a messenger. Now, you must be wise about the decisions that you make. Now, I know it's not easy to make decisions all the time. If you need some help on making decisions, I included some resources down in the description box. Check them out. Wisdom and hearing from God clearly is important. Hearing from God through his scriptures and hearing through him through impressions of your spirit. If you're attuned to pick up that kind of thing. Some people just read the word. But once you listen to God and you made the wise decision, own it. Whatever that looks like, even if the decision is only wise to you. Sometimes he gives us directions that our counselors, as much as we love them, mentors, they don't get it. Not everybody's gonna get it. Sometimes your decisions are only wise to you, but that's okay. If you know in your heart you're supposed to be doing something, even if nobody in the world thinks you should be doing it, as long as it don't hurt nobody or go against God's word, do it. Don't worship people's opinions. People's opinions can become an idol in your life if you don't check it. You can lavish in all the praise that you get, or you can want to die if you're chastised or embarrassed or just not seen in the light that you want to be seen in. That means people's opinions mean way too much much, good or bad. Don't ever let people's opinions mean that much to you. Social media should have taught you by now that people's opinions are like the wind, always changing. For that reason, people's opinions are nothing to build your identity on. If you do or you don't do things because of how to look to other people, are you worshiping them? I think you should be so unbothered on your purpose that you don't even care how it looks to you. You try not to judge it. A lot of us judge ourselves harshly, but you can't even let you stop you from what you're supposed to do. Follow the Lord's directions. Hey, and try to enjoy the ride. It's not so bad. It's like a roller coaster, but it's not so bad. You just put your hands up. You be like, ah, this is fun. Turn it into an adventure. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm living in a movie.